Well, we're devoting this day in many ways to honor people who serve, and we're devoting a lot of attention to the very act of service itself. And the reason we're doing that is because it's a commitment that I have and everyone on this staff and that this whole spiritual community has to lead each one of us to lives of greater joy, greater bliss, greater connection with that spiritual source within ourselves. A great philosopher, medical missionary, and a winner of the Nobel Peace Prize is Albert Schweitzer, and he once said, "I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I know, the only ones among you who will be truly happy are those who will have sought and found how to serve." And that is so important. When Jesus said that the most important spiritual commandments he could give were to love God, love our neighbors, and love ourselves, a lot of the world kind of went berserk over love God and love your neighbor, and the love yourself part was kind of considered not important. Unity picked up that ball, and we often talk about it a lot. I think sometimes almost too much, to the point to where we have been accused of being a little bit self-focused. Sometimes we're accused of a little bit of being people who contemplate our navels, so to speak. You know, we're looking at our life so intently, and everything is about my life and my happiness and my, that we've sort of forgot the other parts of that equation. And I believe that here in this spiritual community, we are reaching a very healthy balance in that we're striving to reach people, to teach them not only to love themselves, but to love each other and to love God, all three. Each one is important. In fact, Martin Luther King wrote, "An individual has not started living until he can rise above the narrow confines of individualist concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity." He says we haven't even begun to live until we've gotten out of ourselves and we reach out into the rest of the world. And it's so important, not only for those altruistic reasons, but because we get strengthened when that happens. We get a deeper and more powerful connection to God when we get into a place of service. And that's hard to explain, so I thought maybe I would just demonstrate it for you. Oh, look. My God person is here. Owen, I'm going to ask Owen to be a volunteer. He volunteered last service, but he needs to come twice because he's in remedial unity. I'm only kidding. He comes because he's an awesome fellow and he can't stay away. So Owen is I'm going to give you the job of being God. And you do it well, okay? Now, God is, of course, on the highest plane of existence. And I'm sort of dancing in the middle. Now, I'm going to hold on to God, okay? Because, see, I'm down here, and I'm on the spiritual steps. I'm doing my work to get closer to God, and then I kind of slip, and I follow, and I do this kind of thing. And so if I'm just doing this, then, hey, good. I'm really connected to God, and I'm on the journey. I'm on step 2, by the way, in case you want to know, so I can get up. Not really very dynamic. It doesn't seem to really... There's not much energy in that. But supposing I look out here and I see joy, and I know that joy needs some help. Okay? I know joy, so I know joy needs some help. So I'm going to reach out for joy because I want to help her, okay? So I'm reaching out for joy. Now, see what happens with my thing with God. This is what I want you to look at. Never mind joy, because she's going to make it or not. You see what's happening to my thing with God here? How you doing, God? You all right? So here's the thing. How did my grip on that compare with the other one?
It was very strong.
It was stronger, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the whole point. You are fantastic, God. Thank you, Owen. You see, when I was reaching out, I had to hold on stronger. Here's the thing, folks. When we step out in service, the connection that we have with our spiritual source gets stronger. Okay? That's how it happens, because you're holding on. Everyone who's ever in any 12-step program knows that, because that's the whole thing about 12-step programs. You get in it not so much to get sober, but to get out and to reach other people. It's a fundamental truth. In fact, it's on page 77 of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. It says, at the moment we're trying to put our lives in order, but this is not an end in itself. Our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and people around us. When we dare to step out and reach out, it absolutely creates a stronger connection with that spiritual source within us. And that's why service blesses us so much. I mean, I could say it over and over and over again, but until you get in there and you do it and you feel the strength of that connection, you won't know it's true. And I really, really want you to know it's true. We claim in this church to be followers of the teachings of Jesus. And in the New Testament, Paul himself, when he wrote to that church, talking about Jesus, said, if you've gotten anything at all out of following Christ, if his love has made any difference in your life, if being in a community of the Spirit means anything to you, if you have a heart, if you care, then do me a favor. Agree with each other. Love each other. Be deep-spirited friends. Don't push your way to the front. Don't sweet-talk your way to the top. Put yourself aside and help others to get ahead. Don't be obsessed with getting your own advantage. Forget yourselves long enough to lend a helping hand. Wow. Now that's from Paul, the great teacher himself. Jesus said in the Gospel of Mark, this is what the Son of Man has done. He came to serve, not to be served. I've been joking with the staff that I want to put a new sign over the front door of the church here. You know where you come in the front door there? I want to put a sign over the top that says, Servant's Entrance. Because I think it would put us in a mindset, you know? It would say, okay, this is what we're here for. This is why we're here. Servant's Entrance. So, okay, this is how it happens. You say, okay, good. How do we do that? It starts in your head. It starts with a thought that, okay, yeah, that's a good thing. Sir, I believe, okay, I can see the demonstration, la, la, la. Then it has to move into your heart. It has to move into this space, the 18-inch difference from this kind of mental awareness to an emotional awareness. The heart begins to open up, and we begin to seek out those areas that resonate with us. And something's going to touch us that's going to want service. Something's going to call to us that's going to say, okay, that's the one. But it comes from here. Not like, oh, I think that would be a good thing to do. It comes from here. And then the last, which is really, really important, is it gets into our feet. Because a lot of times we think it here. We go, yeah, I really should do that. I know your song. I wish that I could have volunteered a lot more often than I should have. It was always on my mind, yeah. It was always on my mind. What is that? Always on my mind. It has to be in the feet. It has to be in the feet. It has to be translated into action, or it's not going to do anything. You're all laughing because that's your private theme song. The one who said it so beautifully is Rabindranath Tagore. He's the first non-European person to ever win the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1913. And he wrote it so amazingly beautiful and simple. He said, I slept and I dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and I saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. That kind of says it all, doesn't it? So, the simple affirmation, the very simple one is this. I commit to serve. Just commit to do it. Can you join me? Let's speak that together. Say it. I commit to serve. Say it one more time. I commit to serve. Beautiful. Now, if you're wondering what that looks like, I want you to know that our congregation is filled with people who have made that commitment, not only here in this church, but in the world. So the last couple of weeks or so, we've been collecting their pictures, because you may not know what a hero you are sitting next to. So we wanted to give a chance to show you, so that all of us could remember them. Remember me in a photo cracked and faded by the years. Remember me in a sanctuary filled with silent prayers. And age to age and heart to heart, bound by grace and peace. Child of wonder, child of God, I'll remember you. Remember me. Remember me when the colors of a sunset fill the sky. Remember me when you pray and tears of joy flow from your eyes. And age to age and heart to heart, bound by grace and peace. Child of wonder, child of God, I'll remember you. Remember me. Remember me when the children leave their Sunday schools in smiles. Remember me when they're old enough to teach, old enough to preach, old enough to leave, and age to age and heart to heart, bound by grace and peace. Child of wonder, child of God, I'll remember you. Remember me. Child of wonder, child of God, I'll remember you. Remember me. I'm going to invite you to take that beautiful energy of love and appreciation inside. If you'll close your eyes for a moment, take a deep breath of that beauty in this moment. as we come to God in a time of commitment to service in the sacred and holy silence.